Thank you for joining in for devotions. Okay, all this week, we're going to be looking at Luke chapter 12. Now, I really hope that you don't miss any of these devotions because this is really, really important. So we're going to look at this man who did really, really well in life, and he had this farm, and he was saving up all these goods and all these crops. Now, look with me in Luke chapter 12, verse 16. Jesus told him this parable, and he said, "The land of a rich man produced plentifully. And he thought to himself, what shall I do? For I have nowhere to store my crops." And he said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to tear down my barns. I'm going to build bigger barns. And there I'm going to store all my grain and all my goods, everything else he had. And then I'm going to say to my soul, now, and I want you to notice, keep saying my goods, my grain, my soul. I'm going to say my soul. Soul, you have ample goods laid up for many years. Relax, eat, drink, and be merry. But God said to him, fool, this night your soul is required of you. And the things that you have prepared, whose will they be? So it is with the one who lays up treasure for himself is not rich towards God. Wow. Okay, this really strikes me right between the eyes here, because this is actually explaining like the American dream. You know, they save up all this money and one day we'll get to enjoy all those things we saved up. This man here, he thought of time, but not eternity. We think about our time on earth here, but people do not think about eternity. You've heard me say before, I want you to see the end right here at the very beginning. Do you think more about this world than eternity? That's my question. I want you to ask yourself that. Do I think more about this life and what I'm doing here and what's coming ahead than what I think about spending eternity with God? Okay, so this man, he didn't think that his prosperity was from God. So the question is, what was this man thinking? What was he thinking? I'm going to tell you 5 things he was thinking. Okay, he didn't think that his prosperity was from God. Look with me in Deuteronomy 8:17. It says, beware lest you say in your heart, notice, my power and the might of my hands have gotten me this wealth. A lot of people, that's what they think. You shall remember that the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the power to get wealth. Wow, that is a powerful statement. You can't get your wealth. He's the one that gives you good health. He's the one who gave you those brains to be where you are right now. Remember, he's the one who provides. He then says that he may confirm his covenant that he swore to your fathers as in this day. So he said he promised, especially the Jews here, he's going to bless them in the future. But God is the one that gives us our blessings for wealth. Proverbs 22, verse 2. The rich and the poor meet together, and the Lord is the maker of them all. Okay, I want you to know this right now. God doesn't care how much money you have. He doesn't care what neighborhood you live in. He's not impressed that you're in charge of the company or you own it. He's not impressed you saved up all this money for your retirement. You see, it's not what you get, but it's what you give. You know, believers one day, they grow up and mature in the Lord. Sometimes they're really convicted because they've done very well. And they think, am I giving enough? Am I doing enough for God? You know, it reminds me of a farmer. They had a businessman. A businessman wanted to buy his farm. They were eating dinner together. And so the farmer bowed his head and he prayed silently over the food to thank God for it. And the businessman looked at him when he's done. He goes, he said, you do that kind of old-fashioned thing where you pray before you eat. And the farmer said, you remind me of an ungrateful hog I have. He says he eats all the acorns that fall from the oak tree, but he never looks up to see where the acorns are coming from. We need to look up and see the one who provides everything. So I want you to question yourself. How am I thinking? Do I think more about this life or do I think more about eternity?